Hi, I'm Patrick,
I'm Chris.
and today we're going to be talking about the new Versus set, the Predator Battles.
Yay!
Alright, well, hi everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the GamerGym Podcast. Once again, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Chris.
And we just want to thank you for stopping by. If you like the podcast and you want to learn more about us, you can find us at www.gamergym.net. You can email us to ask us questions, leave us comments, email us at podcast@gamergym.net, or you can find us at GamerGym Podcast on Facebook or Twitter. Both of those we have now. I'm going to have to learn how to use Twitter.
I should probably make one.
If anybody ever tweets us, I'm going to have to learn how to use Twitter because I don't know right now.
I don't either.
Like, I've used Facebook for a long time. But anyways.
Things we do for our fans.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, our big whopping 0 fans with our first episode. Hopefully you guys are out there somewhere. We'll find you. I hope. All right, anyways. So you may be wondering what the Gamer Gym is all about. So we kind of started this podcast because we wanted to build a better gamer. And that may sound kind of funny, but it's like, we love playing games. Games are fun, right?
I believe so, yes.
I mean, most of the time games are fun. Usually when I don't have fun, it's because I'm playing a really bad game. But honestly, most of the time, it's because of the people I'm playing with, right? Like, I'd rather play a bad game with people I like playing games with.
Or you're playing against a mill deck.
Or you're playing against a mill deck. I mean, come on, we agreed we weren't going to talk about Magic. Oh my gosh.
Hey, mill is in more than just Magic.
Oh, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. This poor guy in Yu-Gi-Oh! The other day, he got me good playing mill. But yeah, so we just want to help build a better gamer. And that's not just being better at games, although we're definitely going to talk about aspects involving being good at games. But that's also kind of just being a better human being in that sense.
Covering mechanics and terminology and different play styles. Definitely.
Yeah, knowing what you're talking about and knowing what other people are talking about. Like, people will discuss the meta or whether something is balanced or not, and a lot of people don't actually talk about what those things mean or what they are.
They just kind of expect you to know whenever you start playing.
It's true. It's true. And then we also want to talk about, gamer etiquette. Like, what are the good things to do to be a good opponent or even a good teammate if you're playing cooperative games. So, just things to build a better gamer because, we believe that games are relational. They're all about building relationships with people, and that's something that's very different about tabletop games versus video games, is that you're physically next to another person, sharing the same, oxygen with them and stuff, and,
It can be dangerous sometimes.
Yeah, it really can. It really can. But, I go back and forth between video games and tabletop games, and I just love tabletop games. Even though there's so much more effort, you have physical pieces, you have to clean up and organize.
You have physical people as well.
Yeah, you have to get physical people, you have to clean up and track down, and sometimes it's hard to get them in the same room with
Provide
you to play
energy
games.
drinks for.
It's true. I mean, all these energy drinks you go through, man, it's unhealthy. Drink some water every once in a while.
It's in there somewhere.
Water in the energy drinks. All right, well. So just a little bit about ourselves. I'm Patrick, and I got into games a long time ago. My dad grew up playing D&D and tabletop games, and I didn't have a chance. One day as a kid, I went to Vintage Stock, and they had the Star Wars trading card game, and I love Star Wars, and that's all I knew. And so I got some boosters and got the game, and to this day, I don't know how to play that Star Wars trading card game. I just thought the cards were cool.
Pictures were good.
My brothers and I would, get Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Darth Vader, and we'd fight each other with the cards versus to save Princess Leia, the card. And, you had, the Stormtroopers and the Death Star and stuff like that. And then Pokemon, the card game, that was when it all came to light, because I don't know if you remember, but Toys R Us had those great big circuits of tournaments.
Yep.
And I went to those and did a lot of those. And it just grew from there into all kinds of different board games, Dungeons and Dragons, some homebrews, played Magic for a while, quit playing Magic and then played Magic some more, Big games right now, I really like Versus 2PCG, which was what we're talking about today. And Star Realms is a lot of fun. Legendary is probably my favorite board game right now, though. I'm a big Upper Deck fan at the moment, so,
All right.
What about you, Chris?
So, I'm Chris again. Let's see. I started playing games on the Atari. Going way back there. I remember, we jumped from Atari. My dad worked for Seagate, so we had computers pretty early, and started playing Indiana Jones on floppy disk.
Excellent.
And I just kind of went from there. I started playing a lot of MMOs in my early years, whenever they first started coming out. My dad would bring card games from Japan, though, and we played Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon before they were even in English. And we had to go online and print out translations for the cards.
Oh my goodness.
And come to find out later, most of them were fake, but that's besides the point. So, and then I just kind of I kind of generated my own card games for a little bit for the video games that I was playing that didn't have card games, and then kind of went from there into, like most people, Magic, which I wasn't allowed to play. Don't tell my parents. And then
if Chris's parents are listening right now,
yes.
He never played Magic.
I never played Magic when I wasn't allowed to. And then just started playing that for a while. Jumped around some other card games, mostly stuck to MMOs, but as you said, playing Versus now, and for about 3 weeks I've been playing Versus.
Excellent. I like Versus. It's a lot of fun. I know you missed GenCon, but GenCon was a blast.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, I really hope I can get you to go this next year. So if we can talk our wives into it, then we can make that happen.
Mine's willing to go.
Yeah, that's true. It's my wife, isn't it? Hint, hint to you in the next room. No. All right. So we're going to talk about the new Versus set today, which I kind of got these cards out here so that we can look at them.
You got yours early.
Yeah, I actually got
GenCon.
The Predator set at GenCon. So anybody who's listening and hears about these cards or looks them up online and goes, I want some of those, they've actually delayed it in typical Upper Deck fashion. And so we're looking at sometime late October now, potentially November before we see.
Well, I've been telling people November anyway.
Well, there you go.
Because
you're just setting expectations low, so
exactly.
that if it does show up on time, and they're all like, "Yeah, it came early."
Yeah, guys, they just decided to release it early. I mean, that's how they did things. So.
There you go. So, I guess I do want to start with what's your background in Versus? Like, I mean, I know, but they don't know. Like, how much have you played Versus?
So, as I kind of hinted at earlier, I've only been playing for about 3 weeks.
That's about when I got back from GenCon, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's see. I think I actually played the first time was when we were waiting on going to your bachelor party.
That makes sense.
So, I mean, I kind of read some stuff before that, but I still hadn't played at that point. So, I mean, I have a lot of experience in other card games, so there are some things that kind of carry over there, but, I mean, that's about it.
Makes sense. I mean, it is a card game, and there are a lot of things about card games that just
can't get away from.
It's true. Drawing cards is good. That's usually how card games work. So, I mean, for me, I've played Versus pretty much since it came out. This is the
original one?
I actually did very briefly play the trading card game Versus, which is very different from Versus 2PCG. No, it was not bad. It was super fun.
Shh, they don't even know that.
Oh man, it was fun though. And they had the DC license back then, and
so just so everybody that doesn't know knows, then this is actually a remake of a game that was out before as a trading card game with boosters and starter decks.
And even though Chris is brand new, he knows this because before he played, he looked up the rules for the old game. And so when he came to play the
That was
current
Aaron.
game with me...
That was Aaron or Josh.
Oh, that was Aaron.
Yes.
You're right. I thought that was you. Never mind.
No.
All right. Well, one of our mutual friends did
I'm just
do
knowledgeable about gaming in general.
Yeah, he definitely did look up the rules for the wrong game. And,
He's like, that's not what the rule book
Yeah,
said.
he had to learn how to play through the old rules, which I have done, and I can tell you it was no fun. So, but yeah, so I've played Versus since the first set of this one came out. I didn't go to GenCon, but I had a buddy who picked it up for me at GenCon that year. I've played every set since then. I was a little late picking up A-Force when it came out. I really didn't like the card Singularity at the time. Or Pixie. I really didn't like what they meant for
Supposedly
the
they're
game.
good.
Yeah, you don't see them as often anymore, but then again, there's so many new cards that have just crazy appears effects. But I wasn't too excited about them when they first came out. I've kind of come around since then, but yeah. So I like Versus a lot, and at Worlds Gen Con I came in 19th. So not the best.
$10,000
but
tournament.
I got cash money, so that was cool. All right, so Chris, since you're still relatively new to the game, when you saw Predator for the first time, what was your just initial reaction to the set?
Get to the chopper!
Get to the chopper! I feel like you've been waiting all week to say that.
No, just today.
Well, okay.
So, yeah, other than that, I mean, I like that you can kind of mix them. There are cards that still interact with the Aliens set
Have
as
you ever
well.
seen the Predator movies?
I think I saw one.
Like the first
It's been
one?
a long time, though.
With the Arnold?
No.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, no, it's been a while.
All right.
So anyways, I like that there's some cards that actually can interact with the alien set, though. Like, what's that one? Main character that you get to draw cards if they have red health or if they have... Hold on.
See, I got all the cards here on the table so we can reference them.
Jungle Hunter, that's what it was.
Jungle Hunter. That dude's
So,
nuts.
basically, if they have a red wounds marker, then you get to draw 2 cards. If it has a black one, or I think it's black, or green. I think it's green. But anyways, so basically if they're an alien species, then you get to draw 3 cards instead. So you can mix the two together and have aliens and predators in the same set and still benefit.
It's true.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, which we actually did an Alien versus Predator cube.
Yes,
at
I'm
Gen
excited
Con
to play this
when we
cube.
first came out. It's so great. To anybody who does have these cards, all you do is you take a box of Aliens, a box of Predator, and you take out 4 of each color location, and you have a perfect cube for 8 people. You split it up into 3 times 8 booster packs of 24 booster packs of 16 cards each. And then you just draft it, just like any other game where you're drafting booster packs.
Maybe we'll cover drafting and how it works.
That's a really good idea for an episode. We'll have to do that. But yeah, so if you ever want to do an Alien vs. Predator cube, I recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and there's some really neat interactions, like the one that Chris pointed out, that make you think, I think they were planning on an Alien vs. Predator cube, even though they don't have the AVP license yet.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll get that one day, because that'd be a sweet license for them to put in this game. But my initial reaction was honestly just how crazy bananas some of these cards are. Like, all of the Predator plot twists are one of a kind, and I feel like they have to be for balancing reasons. Like, they're just so good.
But if you play the other one that lets you use all 3 at once.
Right, yeah, no, like, that one's just insane. The self-destructive ice, everybody saw that and thought Deadpool.
Yeah.
But, like, that card just has so much power on one strip of cardboard. And even the things that aren't game-winning, like the Falcon drone. Freaking drone!
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
Yeah, no, the drone's pretty good.
There's so much.
So what does the drone do again?
So the drone has probably my favorite keyword in the whole set. Bond. He has bond with the Falconer, so you can discard him to generate a power for any of his superpowers. So any colored ability on supporting character or main character Falconer, you can discard the drone, and it pays for it instead. And he's also got Eye in the Sky, so enemy players reveal each card they draw as they draw.
That's a passive too. So
Yeah.
anytime they draw a card, then they have to show you what it is.
Any card they draw moving forward, you see what all their cards are going into their hand. And the other thing that's crazy about him is he's a 0/3 flyer who is a predator. And like predators have some crazy equipment and plot twists. Anybody who's splashing the predator equipment, which is going to be a lot of people, by the way.
Minigun?
Minigun's prey.
Ow.
Yeah. Net
What was
launcher.
the spear thing?
Yeah, net launcher, active camo, self-destruct device, though. All of these things are predator cards.
That's what it was. There it is.
It's true. Oh, yeah, the combi stick. That one's also pretty nuts. So, I've already kind of answered this by naming half the predator sets. But
the ones that you like.
What are some cards that you're really excited about?
Let's see. So I had a few. Obviously Dutch.
Supporting character or main?
Main character.
Main character. Really? I'm going to pull out the main character really quick. Supporting character is the one.
Well, the supporting character is the one that has the get to the chopper.
He has get to the chopper.
But let's see. What was the?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. His amplify KO an attacker.
Yeah. The fact that if you ever attack Dutch with your MC, like you could just lose the game if you ever attack a Dutch main character with your main character. Because if they throw a yellow away, you're dead.
I mean, it doesn't even say it has to attack him. It can just be any attack.
It doesn't say any combat, so you can't use superpowers. It has the purple circle.
Yeah.
But that's not any combat because you can only use abilities that are relevant to the combat the character is in.
Okay.
So an example of somebody who does have any combat is Private Hudson from the Alien set. Because he says you can pay red, and he literally says any combat if a character's melee attacking a character
so even if it's
on
another
side,
character
then
on your
blah, blah, blah.
side, then you can still...
Right, you can still discard the red and stun their character.
But still. I mean, they're going to attack your MC at some point.
Like,
they kind of have to.
I mean, I would say that all decks have to win, but my good friend John kind of proved that wrong at GenCon. So, which we're going to have John on the show here in a couple episodes to talk about that deck. So I won't talk too much about it now. But yeah, come back for that episode in the near future.
So, let's see. One of the other ones I kind of hinted at earlier was the minigun.
Yeah.
I haven't actually gotten to play with any equipment yet because I don't have the Aliens set. It will actually be here Monday. It says it was delivered today, but it didn't show up, so it should be there Monday. Okay. So minigun, whenever the character with the minigun attacks, it puts a -1/-1 on all unprotected characters. So yeah, like the whole front row or the whole back row if they don't have a front row.
Correct.
Yeah. Didn't you just put it out here too?
I did. Yeah, that's the last prey card.
Yeah, and the other one, two -1/-1s, not just one -1/-1. But and you can reduce the cost if you have a prey character on in your KO pile. So.
Well, obviously, the minigun is a lot of fun for like Fin Fang Foom.
Dude, even just with a rogue.
You put minigun down and you just like level. Yeah.
I'm going to attack and then.
But yeah, like that's a really interesting interaction. Did you say rogue?
Rogue. Yeah. Double counters at the end of your turn. All of a sudden it's -4/-4.
Oh no, you mean Viper.
Oh yeah, that's right, Viper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm horrible with names. It doesn't even matter what it is. Like people, games, it doesn't matter.
That's great. So Viper doubles -1 counters on enemy characters.
But yeah, I mean, Rogue, she also interacts with -1/-1s, right?
No, but Rogue I thought was an interesting interaction because whenever she KOs a creature or a character, she gets their powers until the next time she stuns. Okay. And so when you're dealing with something where you stun a whole lot of characters, all of a sudden you're dealing with a Taskmaster-esque situation.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So that gets kind of insane. Also, an interaction that a lot of people have figured out with equipment, because equipment literally say the equipped character has
gains
this,
that ability.
Yeah, gains these abilities.
Yeah.
So if you have, say, Bishop with a net launcher, and you have Hope Summers also has a net launcher.
Mm-hmm.
And so, one, that's 2 times that you can pay a blue and just stun down their board. Yes, Deadpool, I know you're freaking out right now, but like, yes, that is how that works. And then, of course, Bishop gets 2 distinct sets of +2/+2 because
you use the ability
2 blue
twice.
abilities.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Let's see. We kind of mentioned the self-destruct device earlier for Deadpool. Basically, what is it? Next turn, you can choose to destroy it or something.
Yeah, basically, if you
and
can
the
get it to
character that's
survive a
equipped.
whole enemy turn, you can KO it, and if you do, stun each enemy character and KO the equipped
And
character.
then Deadpool, he just breaks the walls like normal and attacks the player directly for a win. So
I mean, worst case scenario, it's an XP.
yeah,
You know, like as long as you didn't equip it to Deadpool, because then that's game over. But you know.
And I think I had one more Greyback. Greyback is
He's the 4-cost Predator, Wisdom of the Ages. You pay 4 less to recruit Greyback if you have at least 8 resources.
so he's free.
So he's free. Passing on the Wisdom, on your main phase, play space, put a +1/+1 counter on each other Predator character on your side for each attack Greyback has. And he has 1 attack.
But you can change that
Yeah,
fairly
you can
easily.
Change that pretty readily.
So
Smart Disc is 1 and gives him +4. So
yeah, so give all of your Predators +5/+5 counters. I mean, seems good.
Yeah. So, are there any cards that you didn't like or that you weren't excited about seeing in the game?
Since I haven't gotten to play with it yet, I don't really have a good opinion. So
That's fair. I mean, you are still kind of new. What sets are you missing?
well, the only ones that I'm missing the base set, which is kind of odd. Patrick.
That's right. So I brought him back a box of Monsters Unleashed from GenCon, and a bunch of the other mini boxes.
I got Defenders, I got A-Force, and Legacy.
Yeah.
So I'm missing the base set and Aliens.
I didn't want to get you the base set because it's only $15 on Miniatures Market. Like, it's the cheapest of all of them right now.
If they have any left now, because I bought a few.
I mean, that's fair. And you're not the only one, because I keep following people on the collective, and everybody's like, hey, go to Miniatures Market.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do they have any more? Like,
Yeah,
they're going to up the price if demand goes up.
Yeah, no, last time I was on there, they only had maybe 2 of each expansion. I think Defenders only had 1 left.
Wow.
They also had the playmats for $10. So
very cool.
Got a few of those as well.
Which, again, if anyone is listening and you are looking to purchase sets, we are going to have a link posted on our website that'll take you to Amazon. And we'd appreciate if you use that link because we get a little bit of a kickback, obviously, if you purchase anything through that. But we're just excited that you want to play Versus, honestly. So
yeah. Let's see. I didn't really have any that I didn't care for.
I will say, I know I'm going to get some flack from other people about this probably, but I'm actually really unexcited that Medkit exists.
Oh, yeah.
Because healing is really overpowered in this game, especially being able to heal a main character.
So what does it do again?
So Medkit is a 2-cost Predator equipment, and it has there's somebody in the bathroom, main phase, pay a green, heal a wound from the equipped character.
So, like I said, I haven't really gotten to use equipment yet. So, since it's a Predator equipment, do you have to have a Predator? Does it work like...
You have to have a Predator in play.
Okay,
like
so it works like Plot Twist.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, there are some downsides.
Yeah.
But, having a Predator in play, if they stun, they lose the equipment.
Okay.
So there's that to keep in mind. But healing is really good, and I don't know. Like, there's parts of me that are excited because the only decks that have been able to make healing work so far are massive control decks. You know, we've had Phoenix has had healing for a while built in on our main character, but that was 2 different colored resources. CMO Clemens is a 2/6 3-drop from Aliens, and he can heal a supporting character for a red. And he can heal a main character. No, I'm sorry, it's a space. Humanity. I'll get it right one of these times. It's a humanity. It's an Earth. And he can heal a main character for a red and a space. So again, we have this precedent of healing a main character for 2 resources.
Right. Fin Fang Foom's the same way too.
And Fin Fang Foom, you have to jump through so many hoops.
Yeah, like, no, I don't think anybody is even going to use it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah. But this one, to me, says you can pay a green resource to heal a main character, which seems really good. And green, a lot of times, is a very underutilized resource. Which might work in favor because a lot of control decks aren't going to be playing green.
Right.
It's not a popular color unless they're running Charlie.
Usually playing blue or yellow.
Yeah, and I mean, like I've seen a lot of decks. They don't even run green at all. They just run nowhere so that they can pay for Charlie's ability and maybe another Guardian. You know. So, like, we might be seeing more green in play now because of this, outside of Thor decks, because obviously Thor likes green.
Right.
But
Venom.
Venom also likes green. So, is there anything about the set overall that you really like or don't like?
Not anything that I haven't mentioned already. Just the fact that you can make a hybrid alien predators deck and then play nice together.
The cube interaction is nuts. I'm really happy with how Upper Deck made that work.
Yeah. So
I mean, for me, I felt this way about Aliens, and like as a set by itself, Aliens isn't as fun to me as this one is.
Right.
But I love the flavor. Like the Alien set did the same thing to me that this one did. As soon as I open it up and I'm looking at the cards with the art and the names of the abilities, I wanted to go watch Predator again. And I did. Like, I just downloaded Predator on Google Play and watched the first one.
Yeah.
And when Arnold is like, get to the chopper, I'm like, oh man, here it is. Here we go.
We should probably tell them what that does, by the way.
Oh, that's true. We haven't actually talked about this. Yeah,
I did yell it earlier, but that was about it.
This card is nuts.
I have a weakness for alternate win conditions. Just throwing that out there.
This is a win. This is a primary win condition as far as I'm concerned. This is get to the gauntlet. So Dutch supporting character is a 7-cost, 2-wound, 7/8 with leader, which means that you get to choose how your defender blocks, and lethal, which means that any character he stuns, he KOs, or any supporting.
So he's already good.
He's already really good. Like, I would play him
even without
like
the choppa.
He also has get to the choppa. So on your main phase, you pay a earth, a yellow, and a green. At the start of your next turn, if Dutch and your main character are face up, wait for it, you win the game. Yes, I said you win the game. Your opponent loses the game, and you win the game. You should not print cards that say you win the game. That's not okay.
They're just waiting to be abused.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's going to happen. Yeah, and he has a supporting character that helps him, too. So,
I know there's a lot of people out there who don't think this way, but, like, I've always been that control player, the person playing counters and alternate win conditions. Like, I see cards that say stuff like this, and I immediately go, how can I cheat this into play? How can I make this thing win for me on turn 2, you know?
Yeah. So he's also got a supporting character that helps him. Anna? I don't remember how you say her name. Anna. So she has an ability, you can actually discard her to generate a power symbol for one of Dutch's superpowers.
Yeah, she also has Bond, which is that crazy cool ability.
Well, that's the Bond with Dutch.
Right.
So Which one are you talking about?
The,
The reaction
that's
one?
I was talking about how Bond is so cool on Falcon.
Oh,
But
yeah,
Bond
yeah.
is also cool on her because the
Yeah.
other thing is, like, it doesn't count as Amplify. I think it's worth mentioning because a lot of people have had that because Amplify says when you discard a location,
Mhm.
and Anna's
Yeah.
not a location.
Right, so you can discard her to pay for...
Right, you can
as a
discard
sort
her
of
to
Amplify.
stun a character for Dutch's "Come on, do it," or "Come on, do it now." But you can't use the Amplify effect by discarding Anna because she's not a location.
Right.
So,
Yeah, aside from that, she also has a reaction ability, which is one Earth. Whenever another character on your side gets stunned, you can recover it. So, I mean, that's, my opinion.
tough.
Well, yeah.
Tough sees play.
Yeah.
Like,
But I mean, I would definitely be discarding her for Get to the Choppa every time.
oh my gosh. I feel like she's okay in a deck with Get to the Choppa. I feel like she's a much better fit for if Dutch is your main character.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? But yeah, I mean, like, the flavor in this game is just fantastic. Like, how Anna has bond with Dutch. And it's just little things, too. Like, level 1 Dutch has ranged. Level 2 Dutch doesn't. Because in the movie, he loses his guns. He realizes that he's so
Yeah.
far behind
there's
technologically that he just goes off the deep end,
Where's that other alien? He comes into play and he automatically comes in with a wound.
Oh, yeah.
He's like a prisoner or something.
I cannot
There he
find
is.
him now.
There he is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yajita prisoner. Yeah, he comes in exhausted and with a wound, which is really cool. The flavor in this game is just fantastic. And of course, going through the names of the abilities on some of these too, like, Dylan had such a cool scene in the movie when he died. Where right before he died, spoilers, where he said,
Spoiler alert.
I don't think I can kill him, but maybe I can get even. You know? And or I don't think I can get him back, but maybe I can
Where's
get
the
even.
other one? It says I'm not or not. Oh dang, where is he at? Anyways, he whenever he recovers, I think it is, you get to draw a card.
Oh yeah, Mac, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. No.
No, that's not it.
Ah.
Oh man. I don't know. We have it here somewhere.
Yeah, there's so many cards in the set. Blaine, here you go. I ain't got time to bleed.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I was yelling that at work the other day.
I ain't got time to bleed. When Blaine recovers, draw a card.
Install this printer. I ain't got time to bleed. Anyways.
Wow. It's pretty great. So I know that you've played a whopping 5-ish games.
Something like that.
Of Versus.
Yes.
And 2 of those were before you actually owned any cards.
Yes.
So what effect do you think that cards in this set are going to have on the meta game? I know you guys can't see me, but I'm making my scary quotes.
Air quotes.
Like, the meta game. This magical entity.
Which we will cover what meta is later, but
I'm sure we will. It's a big beast.
So, I mean, for me, what the meta was Thor, but apparently that's going downhill.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I think that
people are just prepared for it now.
I think
more
people saw Thor. Like, there were a lot of people who opened up Legacy, the box, and said, "Wow, Thor's really good," and they stopped looking for other things to play.
Right.
And then we had Origins, or now really known as Thorigins, because everybody was playing Thor, and all of the top 8 was Thor. And so people went, well, Thor's the deck to beat. And so at GenCon, we had a really interesting situation because you had 20-ish people who showed up going, yeah, I want to play Thor. And everybody else was showing up going, well, I'm bringing a deck that can beat Thor.
Right.
And so it was just a really interesting game and or set of games. And we only had one Thor in the top 8. And I'll be honest, That guy, I don't remember his name, but I got to play against him. That guy's a freaking genius. Like, he earned his place in the top
with his Thor
8
deck.
because he's playing against these people who are teched for him, and he's still taking them out left and right. Like, it was good. It was really good.
So, what effect do I think this is going to have? I don't know. I feel like we'll see some more Deadpool decks.
I mean, everybody always wants to play Deadpool.
Yeah,
You know, he's a
but
very
it's so hard
popular
to
choice.
stun all of their stuff.
Yeah, and like we've seen him as a Mystique build because Mystique can stun your board, turn level to a Deadpool, pay yellow. Oh, I won, you know. And like it's like, I wasn't really ready for this, but whatever. I
like
think
this guy too.
I think it'll be a lot more exciting to see Keys.
Yeah,
he's a good card. But I think it'll be a lot more exciting to see, Deadpool showing up as the main character.
Mm-hmm.
And like I like a lot of the weird techie options that this kind of turns on with some older cards.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was telling you, Juggernaut.
A little more support for some older stuff.
Juggernaut is a card people don't ever play. Like he's just, it's not that he's bad, it's just that there's other 6-drops that are better. Right. But
he earned his slot.
Yeah, exactly, and like back in the day he was okay, but there's just a lot better options now for a 6-drop if you're actually going that high even. But I was telling you, you could take Juggernaut, hand him a minigun, and you pay the green, and he attacks.
I don't feel like Juggernaut needs a minigun.
And as long as he stuns, as long as he survives the combat with a minigun, because now he's ranged, he can attack from the back row, right? So if he survives combat, he can now attack the back row character, which triggers a whole nother string of minigun attacks.
-2 counters all of their stuff.
We're not done yet, because if you play Enchantress and play a blue, you can ready, or you play it on Juggernaut, and so you pay the green and you pay the blue. So Juggernaut attacks, and then he readies for Enchantress's ability. You resolve the attack on the front row character. You resolve the attack on the back row character. Now you're back in the main phase, but Juggernaut's ready again. And so you can attack a front row character
and back row again.
And then go to the back row again. And so you've just put 8 counters on all their unprotected characters. If anybody died in the front row, somewhere in that 8 counter nonsense, the change characters are going to go to the back because, their front row is now obliterated. Mm-hmm. So it's a ton of damage that just gets thrown around. Like the minigun's insane. Yeah, and then Net Launcher, that card's nuts.
What does Net Launcher do again?
Net Launcher is main phase play a blue, daze an enemy character, and it can't recover until after its next recovery phase.
Okay.
So
it doesn't wound them, but it dazes them.
Yeah, it's an Iceman that came out on your turn. Yeah. It's that level of nonsense. Oh, I'm really excited to play this set though. I actually have not got to play with the Predator cards other than when I did the AVP cube. I haven't got to actually sit down and build any decks with these cards yet. I'm really looking forward to that. So that's all I got. Closing thoughts?
I have to wait a little longer for mine.
I mean that's fair.
Because you said it's delayed until probably late October, November. Area.
Yeah. I think originally it was supposed to come out
find one.
October 10th. I'm probably making something up, but that sounds right. And then I heard earlier this week that it got delayed. So, although, fun fact, Upper Deck, I don't know if you know this, but Upper Deck has announced that as of next year, they're moving to
story arcs.
Yes, they're moving to story arcs, and they're going to do smaller expansions released
Shield
every month.
Versus Hydra?
Hydra
is the first one.
Yeah.
And it's going to be probably, $10 or $15 for
I think they were saying it's going to be
expansions.
I think they were saying it's going to be $15 is MSRP.
Yeah.
And you get 60 cards in a set, and it'll come out once a month.
Yep.
So, but it'll be the same kind of thing where you get the whole set all at once. You don't have to hunt boosters and things like that.
I'm not a fan of boosters anymore.
I mean, like, I love...
boosters I have to pay for anyway.
I love all limited formats, like drafts and stuff like that. But yeah, like, it's hard chasing down cards and collecting and keeping up with everything. Like, I get all the cards for this game that I don't have to collect, and it's still just so much work keeping everything organized.
Yep.
You know, like getting back from GenCon, I had to spend like 2 hours just de-decking everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, it was nuts.
So, all right. Well, anything else?
I think that's it. Thanks again for listening. Once again, you can find us at www.gamergym.net. Email us questions, comments, tell us how much you hated the show.
Subject ideas.
Yeah. Also, yeah, if you want to give us those, we definitely will take those like whenever you want. We got tons of ideas, but we'd rather use yours. So podcast at gamergym.net. And you can also find us at GamerGym Podcast on Facebook or Twitter as soon as Chris teaches me how to use Twitter.
We'll YouTube it.
Yeah, surely somebody has a guide on YouTube how to use Twitter. So there you go. All right, thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week.